so many hot peppers this year, all sorts of varieties. I planted these bushes under the grapevine. Look at that, it's just loaded. They were supposed to be little and stay there, but then this happened. So this goes up and up and up, and they're peppers and peppers and peppers. That's about 8 feet. Got to do something with them. Some I dehydrate, make the powder. That's okay, but how much hot pepper powder can one eat? Fabulous. Thank you, nature. Got all the ripe ones picked. This is at least the fifth, sixth harvest of the year. Such abundance. And the way it looks, they still keep going, making more. A whole lot of heat in one pile. These are the fresh ones I just picked, and these are the ones I've been picking over the summer, and I just dehydrated them. But I also made some into powder already. Now I would tell you which kind those are. I know there are cayenne in there, but I had more, and the labels are not what they were supposed to be. There were some that were really long, some were shorter. They're all hot, and it will make good hot sauce. Fermented hot sauce. Going from all this to this. Homemade. Okay, I'll put in onions. We need the salt for the brine. Paprika because it's smoked. I want a little bit of smoked flavor. I happen to have a pineapple that's not necessary, but I'm thinking the sweetness will help the ferment get going and add a nice flavor. Those are some fresh and dried jalapenos, and then some hot peppers, and also put in some celery just because it was there. First thing we need to do is remove the seeds from the hot peppers. I'm all for hot sauce, but some in here won't eat it if it's too hot, so we'll make it a little milder. Cutting the seeds out is a little pesky business. Of course, you don't have to take them out if you like it really, really hot. What I did, I just cut the things lengthwise and then scoop out with my fingers as much as I can. And then I put them in a jar with some corks in it. Shake it up really good. And that separates some strays out as well. So next year I should be growing peppers that are not so hot, and I don't have to take the seeds out. Still a lot to go. Finally, they're de-seeded as best as I could. And because they're dried, I will blitz them up to just get more surface area because they will have to suck up the brine. Oh my goodness, I need to sneeze. Oh, it went away. It's bad. Also, if you're prone touching your face, do wear gloves doing this job. So let's see what it looks like after, and then we're ready to put the ingredients together and put it in the jar. What it looks like, some pieces are chopped up finer, some are left big, and this is pretty good to pack it tightly in the jar and for it to rehydrate in the jar. To fill it up, first the dried peppers, then the onion, and I'm kind of doing this stacking it so that things that are prone to float will be more on the bottom and the heavier non-floating stuff on top, so I can put the weight on up there. I will keep stacking. The fresh peppers, celery and garlic, and lastly pineapple. And now it's time to make up the brine, top it off, stack it away. The glass white in. Ideally this would be sitting on top, just between the opening. But because it's dehydrated peppers, they're going to expand, and I really wanted to leave quite a bit of room. And now I'll just add the brine. That is 3 tablespoons of salt in 1 quart of water. And I have to fill it until it comes up over the weight. That's probably not enough for this, so I need to make more. It's important to give it that much because the peppers, this just looks pretty good because the peppers will suck up a lot of those juices, also the juices from the onion in there. And if it would get too dry, I'll just add more brine later on, but for now I'll keep an eye on it. Uh, so it's all in there. Lid on. The simple silicone fermentation lid, it has a little slit in there so the gases can escape but nothing can go in. And now it gets to stay for, well, it's probably going to take about 3 weeks to make the whole thing, but I'll keep updated here on what happens in the next few days. And it goes in a cool, dark place. Just a 24-hour update. They seem to be rehydrating. Not sure if this is visible. Can you see the bubbles coming up? So something's brewing, but this is going to take at least another 4 weeks. It's been a week today, and things are going good. It's very lively. See the bubbles coming up? This one's even better, so. Woo! So from all the things I had, I filled the half-gallon jar here, and then I filled a quart jar as well. I wasn't sure how much the peppers are going to expand. Turns out they don't get a whole lot bigger. So I'm going to combine these two and also discard a little bit of the juice. I'm not going to throw it away. We'll use it for kimchi or in some cooking, but it goes in the fridge and then I'll show you an update. So there, it's combined, the two of them. I put a brand new pineapple slice in there. I made it a bigger one. That goes all the way to the edge now. The other one was a little too small, and so there were still things floating up. But this works really good with a big one. Now I get to eat the rest of the pineapple, and the weight is on. I will weigh it down. All I have to do is screw the lid back on and wait for another couple of weeks. So this is an update. It has been 10 more days since the last check-in. The liquid is definitely getting redder and all the ingredients starting to look really fermented. Now when I twist it now, there are still some bubbles coming up, but the action is a whole lot less. I would say another 10 days maybe. I'll let this go until all the bubbles have stopped. Oh, see one right here? You can't even see it. That's a bubble right there. See it? So when all this has stopped, that's when I'll take it out. The peppers take longer than the other things in there, but it'll all combines together. It'll be good. It's been 3 weeks, and there is no more bubbles. This has stopped. The fermentation has stopped. It is time to turn this into hot sauce. It's beautiful out today. The sun's out, no rain, and it feels a little bit like fall. Everything's set up. The plan is to blitz this until it's really nice and smooth, and then I run it through the strainer because some of the seeds they don't puree well, not in my contraption anyway. So I'll just strain them out so we have a smooth sauce. It's all been blended up, and that's what it looks like. It's quite thick. I suppose there's quite a bit that stays in the strainer, and that's fine because the leftovers get used up too. It smells really good. I think that pineapple gives it a nice sweet smell with it and taste. Coming along quite well. That's a lot of hot sauce. There we go. All bottled up. Make sure you mark it. The rubber band is there so it won't drool down, when the younger generation pours something. And all this is left. This is the fibrous stuff, the material stuff. The sauce is really thin. It's just sauce. I'm not throwing this away. I put it in ice cube trays and freeze it, and then I'll dump one making chili or goulash or something like that. Now this is one bottle, and there's still a lot more in there. You can now add spices if you like. Because this is a ferment, it already has the vinegary taste a little, and it has the salt in it from the beginning when we salted it up. But now you could add, before you blend it even, you could add Italian seasonings, or what I like in it is a dash of the smoked paprika. That just gives it this little barbecue more feeling to it. And also, this is pretty thin, okay? If you want to thicken it, if you want to sweeten it, I would recommend either tomato ketchup or tomato paste. And that way it gets a thicker, pastier thing. And of course, if it's too thick, you add a little bit of water with it. But it's so versatile. You can do with this whatever you like, and it's a ferment, so yeah, I put that in the fridge and it'll stay good for poof, at least 6 months. I probably have some in there that's already a year old. It could also be frozen. You can this. That's fine as long as it's acidic enough. But then you kill the good probiotic bacteria that we were raising in there when we made the ferment. So there it is. Killer hot sauce straight from the garden.